As you can see, I've already finished touching up my duel and my sword impulse, which is back there. I did take out my destiny again. I think I saw a video, someone had A-Law's GNX, and he was talking about how he used the marker to color the thing in. So I went on before any of this ever happened, I went on a shopping spree and I bought a whole bunch of Sharpies. Like, I did get these thin Sharpie-like pens, markers. I did use this one on the top of the Exia's head. You can see there's some blue there. I got some of these metallic markers. These are awesome. Silver and gold. And then I was like, da 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 da, time to paint. And when I was gonna paint the duel's shield, I was like, okay, this is yellow. When let me see, let me get a yellow marker and paint the inside of the shield. So when you paint yellow, you get yellow. As you can see, you can hardly tell that's yellow. You know, there's two lines there. It's a little yellow, but it sure as hell's not gonna pop on the shield. So I was like, no. I spent all that money stacking up on these cool ass markers, you know, different colors and stuff, and the yellow, for shame. And then I realized, you know what, let me just start buying Gundam markers. And I did. There are some times when it did kind of work. Like, I like how the red marker looks on this shield. This gold marker, I use this on the duel's shield, as you can tell. It's kind of gold. I mean, it's not yellow, but it'll do. And I used it on the shield too. It's the gray. When you paint on top of a plastic surface with your Gundam marker, it'll come out fine because the color gets on top of the material. It doesn't blend in like this. I'm not saying the markers are all bad, because if you can see on the duel's knees, these, and on the duel here, that's marker. But as you can already tell, marker tends to come off real quick and real easy. Like the back part of the Exia was coming off. So I don't know. And when I did paint the sword impulse, I used marker here. I do like how the gold marker looks here on the chest vents. This is a Gundam marker. One thing that I did learn about Gundam markers is that there's two kinds of gray. There's this gray, a light gray, and gray. When I went to my my local hobby store, the A1 Hobby on Flushing, you see, I asked them for gray. I told them I want the kind of gray that you get like for the weapons and for like Gundam joints, like this. See, I wanted that gray. He gave me this. This is, I mean, I was like, this is it, and he's like, yeah. And then when I get home, I'm like, I'm gonna paint gray, and it just came out. It was silver. This is silver. So I went to Image Anime's website and I looked up the number for gray, and There's a GM12 and GM13. GM12 is the gray. GM13 is the light gray. So if you're gonna buy any Gundam markers, if you need any gray, get them both, or get GM13. I mean GM12. This gray is kind of good for like the dual, like here. I painted these with that marker, with the Gundam marker. And you see here. Too bad everything's blurry because I'm holding it too close. So I used the GM13 for this gray, which is kind of the same gray as the weapon. And then voila, this is the Sword Impulse's gun. This is the Destiny's. I had painted the Destiny's rifle with black marker, and then I used my knife to scrape off the black marker. But this front part of the gun's darker than the back part, but it's pretty good. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I did get pink for the beams, for the beam boomerang, and I did paint this part with the marker, but it didn't come out as much. It came out like the shield, since the material is kind of like black. And I used the Gundam, I used the marker, and then I used the Gundam marker to paint this. I did work on the backpack. The only thing, I couldn't find a light enough blue for the anti-ship swords. And then when I painted this part white, two parts fused, and I can't unfuse them, so that's fun. I was on DeLong.net's website, and he has a section called Special. So I went there, and he explained how when he panel lines, he has his regular Gundam marker for panel lining. You can also get like these thin markers, which are just as good. So you can get these at any art store or or supermarket. I went to a store called Michael's and I bought this. What's so special about this? DeLong.net made a note that this has to be 0.20 millimeters. So it's really, really fine. The point's really fine, which is good for getting inside those little crevices. I would recommend everyone get one of these to help you panel line. So in theory, get this. Get Gundam markers, an eraser. I don't know about painting. I mean, painting would be the best option, but I don't have a compressor, and I don't have a spray booth. I don't want to deal with the fumes and with the possibility of something blowing up. So I think Gundam markers and me will be best friends.